Hi there, this is Arleta from Arleta on Track. This video is a special request. Hi Kate, and it's about stretching while watching telly, for example. I know that many of you are super busy and working at the desk for many hours flat. Sometimes you get into things and you lose the track of time. And sitting in one position for a very long time can put a strain on your joints and your muscles. Your muscle shortens, get tight, your joints get tight. When they're not moving, the lubrication, we lose that lubrication in our joints. So that's when we get a little bit squeaky and stiff after sitting or not moving for a long time. The other bad thing is, or not very good, that after sitting all day, we're trying to relax, sitting in front of the telly, which is not ideal because the body needs that little bit of movement to keep everything functioning properly. So this is a way to help you. And again, you can use all of the moves as they are, or pick and mix. The only rule here is that we try to go from the top to the bottom with your stretches. Always try to start with a slower muscle group to stretch before we hit the big guns, okay? So the big muscles, when there's a big stretch, there's a lot of assisting muscles and other things going on around, so you want those things around ready before we stretch the main part. So here it is what we're going to do. So if you're at the desk, for example, you can use a chair, you can use a couch. If the sitting where you sit is soft, I suggest to be on the edge of your sitting, so you have a nice support, and then knees 90 degrees, feet just below your knees, everything is parallel, and we try not to arch your back. So here in this position, you don't want to pop your belly in, arch your back, so you want to tilt that pelvis in. So instead of tilting pelvis back, you want to tilt your pelvis forward slightly, so your abs engage, you sit nice and tall, and straight lower back if possible. And first thing, if you're at the desk and you use a lot of mouse, so there's a lot of flexion on your wrist, so you might want to start with the wrist, rolling your wrist. So circling one direction and then the other direction. The other way to stretch your wrist is to keep your elbows together and just circle them clockwise around 10 times, and then you change direction. Okay. You can also play, if your wrists feel tight, you can try to flex and extend one hand at a time. Usually if stretching, to make stretching really efficient and safer, it's better to stretch one side at a time. And especially if you want to do those stretches in front of the telly when you will be distracted, you won't be paying attention to the imbalances in your body, then it's good to do one side at a time, so you make sure that each side is stretched properly and equally. Okay, so let's start with your shoulders and your upper back. So we will stretch your upper traps, so it's the trapezius muscles at the back. You take one hand at the back, the other on the side of your head. Without pulling your head with your hand, you just gently bring your ear to your shoulder and you just stay there. Usually we want to stay in the stretch at least for 10 seconds. If you can hold a little bit longer, for 15, 20 to 30 seconds. And then you change side and change arms. Okay, so only head goes to the side. This is a great stretch for those tight shoulders as well. Okay, and we change again. This time we will go for the Levator Scapulae. So that's a muscle that's responsible for lifting your shoulder blades. So you go to the side again, but this time, so if you're in front of the TV, you might miss something now, but we don't care. We care about the good, nice stretch. So you lean diagonally down. You look at your thighs or at the floor and hold it here. So you have nice stretch at the side of your neck. And then we go to the other side. Side first, and then lean to the front. Good stuff. Okay, and release. So the other way, we can stretch your shoulder blades and the upper part of your back with the eagle pose. So keep the posture. You take right hand across your left, and if you can, bring your palms of your hands together if they can touch, and you just hold here. And again, you might miss some details on the tally, but usually there's not many interesting stuff anyway. As long as you can hear it, that's good enough, right? So you should be feeling the stretch, your shoulder blades separating, and release, and you have to change side. So keep breathing. Breathing is super important. Any breathing technique, even without stretching, but especially when you stretch or exercise, when you're stretching, the breathing helps to relax the muscles and they get easy into that stretch. Okay, let's take your hands behind, and now we rounded those shoulder blades with the eagle pose. Now we will do the opposite move. You want to squeeze the shoulder blades together. So hands, your elbows a little bit behind your ears without flaring your ribs up. So keep your ribs down. You want to stretch, feel your chest stretching. So apart from relaxing this stretch, the breathing during the stretch also helps to increase the blood flow. And after the workout, especially if you do the after workout stretching, it helps mechanically move the lactic acid from your muscles and other byproducts. Okay, release. Shoulder rolls is other thing you can do. Mobilize. If you feel particularly stiff in your shoulders, you can do few shoulder rolls, 10 times back, 10 times forward. And remember, you can, before you move to the next stretch, you can repeat each stretch on each side 2 to 3 times. Okay, let's do a little bit of rotation. This rotation of upper body. So again, we have prisoner's arms. So without pulling your head forward and pulling with your elbows back, keep them back, still on the edge of your feet without pushing your hips. You keep your abs in, hips facing forward, feet flat as they are, and we just rotate to the side. And you go as far as you can. Inhale, and as you exhale, you rotate. And again, you try to do 5 to 10 on each side. And as you go, each time, you try to rotate a little bit more. Remember, not pulling those elbows in. So elbows open. So you keep your chest lifted and open. Exhale. Every time you try to rotate more and more. This stretch is actually quite good. It's better when you than you standing, because you make sure your hips don't rotate here. You really use your sides, your waistline and your obliques. So now we're going to address that side of your torso a little bit more, and your lats, which is the big muscle at the back on either side of your back. So you grab right wrist with your left hand, you pull, inhale, and you exhale, you just lean to the side. You can move through it, you can hold it, and then again you can move a little bit towards you, like with your neck, you lean forward a little bit. This beautiful lat stretch here. So the whole back is stretching. And then change sides. Remember, 10-15 seconds. If you don't want to count, you can have a timer set next to you, and now lean forward. Good stuff. Okay. So let's get the lower back a little bit. So here I have a big cushion. If you have anything squashy, like a squashy ball, it's even better. This cushion is quite big. It's a little bit too big. You want something or a cushion folded, and you want that in the middle of your back. Okay, so I need to lift it a little bit, make it flat. It's difficult with this one. Okay, hands behind, and you want to arch your back. So it's good if you have a chair for this one, and the chair is not too high, the rest of the chair, so you can kind of lean all the way back. Be careful here, and again, your feet flat on the floor. Make sure your knees don't move in and out. And you just hold it here. If someone comes into the room when you're in this position, they will think you're super chilled. And relax. Okay. Now use your core to bring it back. And now we have to do the opposite movement. We will roll your back. So you might want to take your feet wider now and just let yourself go. Hands on the ground, and then what we will do, we can do the cat-cow back like sometimes we do in the box position. Inhale, you relax. Exhale, you round. Hold it for 10 seconds or until your breath is out. Take another inhale and round it. And again, if you particularly like that stretch, do it a few times. Okay, it feels really nice. So you arch, and then you round it. Relax, and if you want, you can go even lower. Let that back sink in. Make sure you relax that head down. The neck is not extended, completely relaxed. And here you can even try to move that neck side to side. Extra stretch on your neck. In that position, the neck, the cervical section of your spine is more relaxed. So you can do those few rotations. Okay, so we're going to move on for the next one. So you still want to sit nice and straight, or you might want to sit a little bit deeper in the chair, but make sure you have a lot of cushioning here so your back remains straight, okay? And what we're going to do, we will stretch your glutes a little bit, and here your groin. So we go down the legs. So bring the legs in and just stay here. Remember, if you're on the edge of your seat, you have to maintain a little bit, your core is a little bit more active here. If you want, you can circle your foot here additionally. And this is a great position in front of the telly because you're not missing out on anything. Okay. And then we change legs. So you try to bring that knee as close to your chest as you can. Make sure the other knee is 90 degrees with flat foot. And we're chilling. The next stretch is super great, super good and super effective, especially if you have some issues with your lower back, like sciatica, for example. This is a piriformis stretch. It stretches your glutes and the top of your glute, where there's a tiny muscle running across. When this muscle gets tight, that's where we have problems. It can put pressure on the spine, on those nerves there, and that's when we get sometimes tight and stiff leg or the lower back problem. So what we do, again, sitting straight. So make sure your back is straight, you're not rounded. You bring your one leg across. And also here depends how flexible and what you are in your hips and what's your mobility, hip mobility. So you might just bring that leg, that's it, and just hold it here. Inhale, as you exhale, you try to lean forward, hinge forward. It's very important that you use mechanics of your hips rather than rounding your lower back. So you want your back straight and you just break from your hip joint, going towards that front leg as low as you can. Keep lengthening up and go to the point where you feel like it gets really stretchy here, and you let the leg relax. Once you feel like the leg relax, you might add extra pressure on that knee to really just stretch it a little bit more, and then lean a little bit more. And again, 20 seconds, at least 10. Then you stretch, then you change side. This I would recommend to repeat 2-3 times on each side before you move to the other movement. Or you can do just that if you have a back problem. I used to do that when I had my sciatica problems a few years back. But again, you have to be regular. So now I'm going again, but I'm going a little bit deeper. Keep maintaining that straight spine. And keep breathing. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you go a little bit lower. With stretch, you don't want to push continuously. You just push and hold until muscle relax. And then if you want, you go push again a little bit deeper. So it's not like you go, 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 go low, okay? So it's easy. You always ease into position. Stretch should feel, there's a little tension, but it should feel good. You know what I mean? It's no pain and not too light, so you don't feel anything. You find your sweet spot and stay there and keep working on it. So we stretch the other side. Guys, and then you might be done, or if you want more, you want to stretch your legs, then we can stretch your calves, your shins, and your hamstring. Okay, so flex your foot first. I'll show you this one. You want to lean towards the front leg, grab your toes if you can, and flex the foot and hold it here. So you keep pulling, you pull that foot and hold it there. What do you want? You want stretch on your calf and your Achilles here. Your hamstring, the back of your thigh is not stretching, okay? So you have to, again, try to find the sweet spot where there's only this part of your leg stretching. And then release your toes, stretch your leg, and you can lean towards the front leg and you get that stretch on your hamstring here. Make sure your chair is not moving anywhere, okay? And again, hinging movement, so use your mechanics of your hips. Back is straight, you can relax on the other leg. It's good if we just straight and facing that leg. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, and you do the same on the other side. So first, toes up and hold it there. And if you stretch, try to stretch a little bit more forward. The deepest stretch on your calf. Shoulders back. And then you relax. Relax your toes and just lean towards that leg here. And as you see, if you're in front of the telly, you still know what's going on in your favorite soap. And you feel better. Okay. You can add here the last stretch, you can add this next stretch is good for split shin if you have a problem with your shin, sometimes pain, and it's good to stretch your ankles. So from here, your feet parallel, and you just curl your toes down and hold it here. And this is already, I can feel a deep stretch going here around my ankle. The more you go, the higher. You can try to find the position what's best, where you feel the stretch. And relax. And once you stretch your shins, you can actually stretch your quads now. But for that, you would need to stand up. Okay. And relax. If you don't want to stand up, you're done. But the most important part is your shoulders, your lower back, your glutes, and your hips a little bit mobilized. You should be feeling a little bit better. And this you can do on the chair, you can do on the floor, some of those stretches, or standing after the workouts, or just while chilling in the evening. I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up, and if you watch that on YouTube, please subscribe. You can tick that little red bell so you will get notification if there's anything new posted on the channel. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.